Collabs with other creators are one of the best ways to grow as an OnlyFans creator. So, here's how you do them. Hey guys, I'm Cedric Dickory. So, how do OnlyFans collabs work? They don't, ever, because everyone always cancels last minute. Seriously though, if you're an OnlyFans creator, collaborations can be one of the best ways to grow your audience, to make content you wouldn't be able to make on your own, and they could also be really inspiring if you find the right people. I'm using OnlyFans as an example here. There are other great platforms out there, and the advice in this video is true for all of them. So, the first question we'll answer today is, how do you actually find the people to collaborate with? The good news is, the creator bubble is actually pretty small and most people are super happy to connect. A lot of creators know each other from Instagram, through Twitter, through events, or just by word of mouth. And honestly, most people are pretty happy to connect you to someone else if they think you'd be a great fit. But what if you want to reach out to someone you don't know? The best way to do that is have an empty profile and then creep into someone's DMs with something like, "Hey, you're hot, wanna fuck?" The most important thing is be professional and be respectful. After all, you're reaching out to a person that you don't know. And if you don't have any references yet, just start creating content on your own. Build up a profile that shows people what you do, what your style is, and also that you're serious about doing it. Because realistically, if you have no references and your first point of contact to someone is just a random DM, asking them to collaborate, or even better, a comment under someone's video telling them how they're welcome to try your 15-inch meat, you're not going to get very far. 15 inches around, obviously. I actually don't know how inches work, sorry. Also, choose your collab partners carefully. Look for people who actually fit your vibe and your audience. A collaboration isn't automatically useful just because there's another person in it. And for me personally, and this is probably the most important point, I only work with people who I genuinely vibe with. You don't have to say yes to every opportunity, and frankly, I think you should be pretty picky about your collaborations. You're probably going to spend a lot of time being creative together and potentially even share a very, very intimate working environment. So, find people who you actually like to hang out with, whose style of content matches yours, and also whose approach to collabs matches with your idea as well. Quality over quantity, as they say. The exact setup of the collaboration depends on what kind of content you make. Do you sell lewd photos, fetish content, full-on explicit videos? Whatever your thing is, collabs can generally be split in two concepts: content trade and content share. A content trade basically means you exchange content with each other. For example, you meet up with another creator and you shoot two separate pieces of content together. And in the end, each person gets one piece of that content exclusively for their pages. So instead of paying each other with money, you just trade content with each other, as the name suggests. With content share, usually all the creators involved get the same content. So if you shoot one video together, both of you can just use the same video for their respective platforms. And you can even combine those two models. For example, you shoot two pieces of content and every one of you gets one piece of the content exclusively for a period of time. And after that period of time, you switch back the content, so everyone gets all the content in the end, but with a bit of a delay. And this is something you should agree on before start shooting. If your collaboration involves intimate contact, sexual health and testing should be taken seriously. When planning the shoot, talk about testing and make sure everyone's comfortable with everything. In my niche, which is explicit videos, people usually get tested for the most common STIs. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, syphilis, MGen, hepatitis, and that one thing I can't pronounce. A common practice in the industry is a 2-week testing window, meaning the test shouldn't be older than 2 weeks on the day of collaboration. The exact testing requirements can vary depending on what type of content you shoot and also what people are involved. So make sure you understand what is appropriate for your situation. And remember, testing is not a substitute for discussing protection, safer sex, and boundaries. The next thing is paperwork. Before you start shooting, create a contract or written agreement that explains exactly what you agreed to. For example, where the content can be published, who owns the right, is the content exclusive, pricing, and what happens if someone wants to take down the content. This protects everyone involved, and also there are platforms that won't even let you upload any content without a proper agreement. Some platforms may allow you to upload stuff and simply tag each other, but it's still a good idea to have your paperwork in order. If you're working with another creator, you also have to make sure that you have the appropriate age verification documentation. For that, most creators simply use a 2257 form that basically just asks the date of birth, the name, the address, and some form of ID. Some platforms and companies also ask for 2 forms of ID. So for example, a national ID card and a passport or something. And with those, you then create a Mickey Mouse shot. So you just hold them both next to your face like so and have someone else take a picture. And don't forget to take close-up shots of those documents as well. Keep in mind that legal requirements can vary a lot depending on where you live or what platforms are involved. And if you're unsure, just do your research. And finally, talk to each other. If you're going to work intimately with someone else, a proper intimacy conversation before start shooting is super important. Talk about your wishes for the day, your no-goes, and anything else that could affect the shoot. After all, you just want to be comfortable and you also want everyone else to be comfortable as well. Clear communication just makes the shoot so much safer, so much more professional, and also so much more enjoyable. I'll go into intimacy talks and how to properly discuss boundaries in another video. So that's basically the foundation of a good collab. Find the right person, agree on the type of content exchange, sort out testing and paperwork, discuss your boundaries, and lastly, make sure everyone knows exactly what they sign up for before the cameras start rolling. Done properly, collabs can be one of the best ways to grow your business on any page. They can be a lot of fun, you can meet amazing people. Some of my closest friends I actually met in the context of work. You just have to be careful and keep a few things in mind. So that's it for today. Take care, guys.